access Google Forms in your preferred Gmail account. I'm going to use this account and then go to my apps and find Forms. From there, click on Start a new blank form. Give the form a title. Double-click in the left-hand corner to automatically populate your title there as well. We're now going to add our questions or our fields. In this case, the first field is going to be first name. Select the type of field, generally a short answer is sufficient, and then make it required. Click this button to add a field, and this will be last name. Again, a short answer type question, and then required. And lastly, for this form, I'm going to include email address. It is also a short answer, and it's required. You can make as many fields here as you want. Now that our form has been populated, you have the option of going to customization of the theme. Click here and select a different type of font, size of font, and so forth if desired. You can also choose an image to place as a header. They have some stock images here for headers. As well, you can upload an image that you create. I'm just going to use a stock image here and insert. This is optional. You can choose colors for your background and so forth for your form. Again, all this is optional. Once you are satisfied with your form, the next step is to go to responses. Google automatically creates a spreadsheet to house your responses. As you can see, it's currently waiting for responses. You can click here where it says Link to Google Sheets, and you can see that a new spreadsheet will be created with your attendance tracker heading already listed. Click Create to view the form, to view the spreadsheet. And as you can see, it's here waiting for responses. You can share this spreadsheet with anyone who has a need to view these responses as well. Let's go back to our form. The next button is Settings. There are a number of settings for my purposes. I'm only going to show you what I use for the form. Click the down arrow next to Responses. I don't use any of these settings, but I want to point out that you may be tempted to limit to one response for this particular form. Don't do that because it will require a sign-in. Even though we only want one response, it requires sign-in, and this will make some confusion with regards to people logging into the form. So skip that for right now. None of these responses need to be changed. Go to Setting Presentation, download arrow there. Under Presentation, the only setting that you may want to change your confirmation message. Right now, the default is your response has been recorded. You can click Edit and put in your own confirmation message if you want to change it. For example, thank you for signing in. And click Save. Continue to scroll down. The next setting says Show link to submit another response. As I said before, we did not select limit to one response, but in order for anyone submitting the form to not even see that link, you want to deselect this button. That way, even though they can submit more than one response, they will not see it on their form. And that is all the settings that I use. The next thing is to select Send in order to create our QR code. We're going to send this form via a QR code, so click here to get the link to create the QR code. And if desired, you can shorten the link and then click Copy to put it on your clipboard. You can use any QR code generator that you desire to create the QR code. I use Canva. Let's So I go to my Canva account. And the design that I want to use for the QR code is going to be the logo design, because it's just the right size for the QR code. So search on logo, and then click on a blank logo template. Once the template comes up, you want to select QR code generated from your list of options in the left-hand side. It should already be there here like this, but if it's not, go up to apps right here, click on apps, and then scroll down till you find QR code generator. I'm just going to go ahead and use the one that's already here. Once this comes up, simply add your URL, paste it here, and your QR code generator applies. Go ahead and enlarge it to fill that space, because this will be the perfect size for your QR code once you download it. I will give it a name here so you'll remember what it is. Let's just say March General Meeting. Once you've named it, click Share and Download. You can leave the file type as PNG, or you can select JPEG, either one, because it's an image. Either one will be sufficient. And then click Download. Once it's downloaded, click out of Canva. The next step is to create a document on which to place your QR code so that you can present it, you can print it and present it at the meeting that you're going to be tracking attendance. So I go to Word, and just simply create a blank document. And I usually insert a text box only because I want to be able to center, to move my code around to center it, but this is optional. Whatever way you want to create the form, create the image is up to you. Once my text box is there, I click Insert, Picture, and I go to my device to select my QR code image. And it should be in my downloads. March General Meeting, and then Insert. And then you can size it again. I usually try and get it the size, pretty close to the size of the paper, but it doesn't have to fill the whole paper. You also have the option, you may want to create a title for this QR code. So when you are at your event, you are clear on what you're scanning in. So I'm just going to say March General Meeting. I usually complete the date and so forth, but that's just optional. I'm just going to change the size, center it. This is just cosmetic stuff I'm doing now, so not really that critical. I don't want a line there. Okay. So March General Meeting, and this is our QR code. Sometimes I'll put, a border around, a color border around it and so forth, but that's up to you. I'm not going to do that now, but this is basically your QR code that you can now print out and take to whatever meeting you have. At this point, you probably want to test it out by scanning it with your phone to make sure it's populating the spreadsheet, and then of course save the document. To your favorite space. And again, I'm going to say March General Meeting QR code and click Save. You can then print out your QR code and take it to the meeting to which you're going to be tracking attendance. If you have any questions, please contact Peggy Dunnigan at ptotechnology@gmail.com.